Hey everyone, how's it going? Like Butter here, and today I got a division video that I think is really important to make to help some of you guys out with differentiating between the AUG and the Vector. I get a lot of questions about which gun is better. If you don't know, maybe you're new to the division, SMGs kind of rule the division meta right now. Pretty much if you want to be at the top of your game, you're going to have to find an SMG that works the best for you. The reason being because each SMG comes with a certain percentage of crit, anywhere between I think 21 and 25.5. So the chances of you rolling a good weapon is a lot higher with those extra stats. So it's really nice to have an SMG that you really like and that you think fits your playstyle well. But right now the meta is just straight SMGs. So I want to compare the AUG and the first wave Vector. If you don't know, the first wave Vector is available this week, which is the week of 5/15, which is today. So last Friday, the first wave Vector went into DZ03, which every week the blueprints for the DZ03 vendor switch. Last week it was, I think it was the ACR for the second time in a row, or it was like an M60 actually. I don't know. It changes every week, and the only one that hasn't repeated, like they had the first wave twice, they had the first wave Vector twice, they've had the ACR twice. And the only weapon they haven't had twice in that vendor is the AUG. And the AUG is by far the better SMG, and I'm going to show you guys why. So, in my opinion, if you don't have an AUG or a Vector, picking up the first wave Vector is probably a good idea as long as you have enough DZ credits saved up for next week. Now, if you don't, if you're just barely have like 300,000, something like that, I would hold on to your money and just wait until next week, because I have a feeling either next week or the week after the AUG is going to be returning. It's complete RNG. Not even the devs know what's going to pop up, but the way it's been going, almost everything has been up there twice, and the only one that hasn't has been the AUG. So I'm still using the AUG from like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, the one that was sold for 800 Phoenix credits in the base of operations. It's still the best AUG by far. It has really high damage. It has, I think it's got like 22.5% crit, which is a little bit on the lower side, but it's still really good, and it's a 204 weapon. And I also have a blueprint for the 204 AUG, but it seems like I can never roll a good AUG. I don't know what it is, but yeah, so we're going to go down to the shooting range right here. I'm going to strip all of the attachments off of the first wave Vector and the AUG. And, this is the AUG Para. There's two different versions, just like there's two different versions of the Vector. There's the first wave Vector, and then there's the first wave Vector ACP. And then actually, I think there's another version of it as well. It's like something else. But anyways, those two are the most common that you're going to see. I think there's a tactical Vector. I could be wrong. But, you can see here the damage on my AUG is a little bit higher. That is mostly due to brutal on my AUG. I have brutal on my AUG. I don't have brutal on my Vector, but both of them have vicious, and my Vector has deadly. I rolled like 10 Vectors for this video, and this happened to be the best one. It's like vicious, brutal, and whatever the talent is where it makes your last bullet do the most damage. That's such a terrible talent. I'm so sad about that, because if there was any other talent in that section, it would have been amazing. But with the one is none glitch, you're barely even going to get that last bullet shot out of your clip, so it's a little bit unfortunate. But anyways, you can see the difference here in the AUG and the Vector. The Vector has a lot of horizontal stability issues, so you might want to run on your underbarrel horizontal stability and hipfire accuracy. The reason I say hipfire accuracy is because if you're on PC, a lot of times with your SMGs, you're going to be hipfiring. If you're on console, I wouldn't even bother with the hipfire accuracy, because it's so hard to hipfire on console anyways. Maybe you want to go like, I don't know, stability and accuracy, something like that. Accuracy on SMGs is really good. A lot of people kind of say it inflates DPS and this and that, which is true, but the accuracy is really important, because with a gun that shoots a lot of bullets extremely fast, you want to be able to hit as many of those bullets as possible, and the accuracy is going to allow you to do that. So the AUG doesn't have horizontal stability issues. It's extremely accurate, whereas you can see the Vector is inaccurate and kind of jumps around a little bit. The clip size is 5 bullet difference, which when you're using an extended mag, it ends up being 10 bullet difference because you're pretty much doubling your mag. So with my AUG and the Vector gets about 39 bullets with my clip, and the AUG gets about 49. So it's a huge difference there, you know, between 5 to 10 bullets. It's especially if you're running one is none, it ends up being like an extra 20 bullets sometimes. So I definitely think that if you're comparing these two weapons, if with any type of similarity between the stats, you know, because they do the same amount of damage, the 204 first wave Vector and the 204 AUG A3 Para is exactly the same damage. However, the Vector has a little bit higher RPMs, so maybe on the Vector you don't want to run fire rate, although I feel like you should always run fire rate on SMGs because that's how you're going to output the fastest amount of damage, and the faster you output damage, the less time your opponents have to react to use medkits, pop ultimate, all that kind of thing. So I'm going to show you guys a little bit of gameplay that I recorded earlier with the Vector, and then with the same group, same people that I was playing against, I put on the AUG, and you are going to see a massive difference in between the damage that I was outputting with the AUG and the damage I was outputting with the Vector. The Vector clip is just a little bit too small for my taste, and I just think that the AUG is a lot better overall. So let me show you guys the footage right here really fast. So in order to get some PvP, unfortunately I had to shoot some people in the back that really didn't deserve to get shot, but I had to, you know, push some sort of you know, action towards me in order to test the two weapons out. But one thing that you don't notice with the Vector or with the AUG that I did notice with the Vector, there's a lot of times when I'm clearing NPCs, which you're going to be doing a lot, by the way, in the Dark Zone. It's just how it is. There's NPCs everywhere. Especially if you're trying to get your ult back, if you have, you know, a skilled weapon, a weapon with skilled, rather, in your backpack, and you can get that that signature ability resource gain back, you're going to be killing a lot of NPCs, and you're going to be clearing out areas so that, you know, you can obviously get away. And I noticed a lot with the Vector where you're shooting some NPCs, and sometimes a player will come up, you know, against you, you know, when you're not paying attention, when you're trying to clear an area, and sometimes you won't have much ammo in your clip left because your clip is so small, and then you know, you're kind of screwed. You have to reload, and sometimes that'll happen, sometimes it won't. So it all boils down to just the horizontal stability on the Vector and the clip size. Those are the only two things that I think really hold this weapon back and make it really not worth you know, using. If you can have the AUG, obviously it's not a bad weapon. It's really not that bad of a weapon, especially if you are you know, in need of an SMG. It's really not that bad, okay? It's just when you're comparing the two, it's just not even close. And I think like the MP5 kind of goes in here as well. A lot of people are like, well, Drew, you used to use MP5. How come you don't use the MP5 anymore? It's because the AUG is just too good. There's no reason to use anything else. And there's no 204 MP5 like weapon. If there was a 204 MP7 or a 204 MP5, I would try those weapons out, and I'll do a comparison for you guys, because I think the 204 MP7 has more potential than any of these rifles or any of these SMGs that we're using right now, because I had a level 163 or gear score 163, and it was an MP7, and it had brutal, deadly, and something else. And the third talent wasn't very good. I think it was destructive. And the MP7 was so strong, and it's got a small clip like the Vector, but the fire rate makes up for that, because you're going to output such a large amount of damage so fast that you don't need like you know, rapid fire on it. So you're going to be able to just run the MP7 with like a magazine that has extended mag and like crit hit chance, or you know, something like that, where you're just going to output an even larger amount of damage. So it's going to be really good. I hope a 204 MP7 blueprint comes in the future. I'd really be looking forward to it. So you see me lose that gunfight there. There's really not too much that I could do. I was running into groups of 4 who were using instant explosives, you know, you name it, they were using it. I think like pop 2 or 3 alts. And it happens, you know, it's not a huge deal, and it's obviously a bit frustrating, but just to test the weapon out, you guys can see the difference in the gunfights when I switch to the AUG. So I get that kill here, and what you're going to see me do is I'm going to run underground. I'm going to get jumped by like a group of 4. I survived decently long, but, you know, with them using instant bullets, there wasn't too much I could do. You know, I ate my energy bar, which is why I talked about this a little bit in my last video. I'm going to be getting the rejuvenated mask. I need to, because obviously shock turrets are a bit frustrating, but you can play around shock turrets. Look at that push. 4v1 push and alt, man. You gotta love it. Well, the other guys are coming soon. I think they're flanking me, but I think I kept messing with their heads. That's why I was going back and forth to try to waste time. But you'll see them come here in a second. But I think I'm gonna use the rejuvenated mask, just because the rejuvenated mask I think might just be too good not to use. So I think when the sentries gets nerfed, I'm going to try 4 strikers, rejuvenated mask, and savage gloves. Now, we found out the other day that savage gloves actually does give you 13% higher crit in those situations when you're shooting someone who's not in cover. So that's pretty huge. You know, we thought for a small portion of time that savage was only going to give you 13% of what you did, but it's not. It's 13% crit more. So savage gloves are definitely a must. But you're going to see me here. You know, I'm equipping the AUG now, and I'm like, all right, so let's see the difference here, and you guys are going to see a massive difference with the, you know, the time to kill that I put them down with. All right, so don't forget now that these attachments on both weapons are exactly the same. Now, even here, just shooting him straight up, you can just tell the difference. Like, I know he was running directly at me, but if that was a Vector, I don't think I would have put him down as fast. And that guy too, like, look at how fast he went down. Until I find a weapon that's better than this AUG. Like, for some reason, when the AUG was in the base of operations, I didn't think it was that good, because it was kind of weird, you know, paying 800 Phoenix credits for something, just a weapon. But now I think I'm more used to the idea of using a lot of Phoenix credits for things that are in the base of operations. So that's why I do the videos for you guys. You know, give me that 5 kills in a row. So we get a bunch of gear. Unfortunately, you know, they just come back like most do, and there's not much I could do, but I try my hardest. Didn't even have enough space for all those items. That was pretty cool. So yeah, you can just see that the AUG and the Vector just kind of aren't even close, as long as you have a little bit similar talents, similar stats, which the stats will be, you know, almost the same. Also, don't forget, you know, level difference may be a big thing. So if you have like a level 30 AUG and you have a 204 first wave Vector, you might want to use the Vector. You know, it might just output more damage. I wish I could have gotten a Vector with some better talents, like maybe like Brutal. If I could have got a Vector with Brutal, Deadly, and like what would the third be? Vicious, I guess. I'm starting to like Vicious a lot. I don't know why I thought Vicious wasn't that good before, but with Overheal, I use Overheal for my, you know, my E, and it puts me in a huge advantage. Look at that. Look at that. Look at those flame bullets, man. Feels bad. That's why, like, when I get the rejuvenated mask, I think it will make it so much easier to deal with. I had somebody in my stream say, you know, Drew, but, you know, after you use a med kit and you remove the status effects, then what? You just get, you get tagged again for another, like, you know, 3 to 10 seconds. What do you do then? And I was like, well, you know, the difference is that when you pop alt, and I don't know if you guys know this, it happened to me earlier today. I used my ultimate, but since I was like under status effects, it didn't count. Like I didn't get the damage reduction for my ult. I didn't get anything. I didn't get the movement. I got nothing at all. So by having rejuvenated on my mask, I will be able to use that med kit, get rid of the status effect, and instantly pop my ult. I can't tell you how many times I die because I can't pop ult because somebody, you know, cheesed me with instant bullets. It just happens. And yeah, that's what I think I'm going to go for. And you're going to see one more gunfight here that I'm going to show you guys where I kind of do a pretty good job of fighting people off. Anyways, I wanted to make this video just to give you guys my opinions, and hopefully you guys enjoy and hopefully you guys agree. If you disagree on anything, be sure to leave me a comment in the comment section below, and maybe you have a different way that the Vector can be built. I don't know. I just have the attachments that I have. I base my opinion off of that. Like I said, you might want to put a little bit of stability or horizontal stability on that Vector to kind of calm it down a little bit, but thanks for watching this video, guys. If you enjoyed, be sure to let me know, and I will talk to you guys next time. Peace out, everybody.